James Shields and Jason Vargas silenced the mighty Rocky offense as the Royals swept a 2-game series. Now powerful Chris Davis and Adam Jones come to the K to battle KC's young flamethrower, Yordano Ventura. Orioles and Royals next. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports. Tonight from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, it's game 1 of a 4-game series between the Orioles and the Royals. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. The Royals have put together a modest 3-game win streak, and they've won 6 of their last 8. They're still waiting for their offense to produce, but while they wait, the pitching has been outstanding. Take a look at the team ERA the last 8 games, 1.88. And the relievers have not allowed an earned run in that time, a 0.00 ERA. Joining me, of course, tonight is Rex Hudler, and Yordano Ventura will get the start. Last time out against Baltimore, he dealt.
He did it, and they're hoping the same thing will happen in tonight's game. However, whenever Ventura's name is mentioned as a starter around here anyway, smiles break out because they love to see that hard fastball. Now, the only smiles that may not be around is from the bird's nest. They might be a little bit nervous, but the challenge will be facing Ventura for the second time. How are they going to adjust? What's their game plan? Nobody knows. We'll have to see, but Ventura has been marvelous. He's hoping that he can use that defense and drop a 0 in that bird's nest tonight.
Baltimore brings more ammunition to the K. Chris Davis, Manny Machado healthy and in the lineup tonight.
Strikeouts aplenty over the last 2 games. The Colorado Rockies, red hot with their offense, came in and did a lot of swinging and missing, much of it coming from the arms of James Shields and Jason Vargas. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg out in right field. Over that series, the Rockies struck out 23 times. The Royals only struck out once, a differential of 22, the largest in the majors in a big league game since 1914, a sign of the great pitching and the offense coming around.
Obviously, we want to put the ball in play and make things happen, and try and cause havoc with the other team's defense. And it says a lot about our pitching staff and the bullpen, because I think that was the not only that stat is incredible, but they're probably one of the hottest hitting teams in baseball coming in. So I think it gives a lot of credit to our pitching staff and really shows how they've been throwing all year.
And Yordano Ventura will look to continue that trend, because the last time he faced Baltimore, he struck out 8 Orioles. First pitch from Kauffman Stadium is coming up next.
Royals baseball is brought to you by your Kansas City Chevy dealer. It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Kansas City Chevy dealers. By the Missouri Lottery. Try the Missouri Lottery's new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. It's a cool night at the K for Game 1 of this series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Kansas City Royals. Crisp, cool evening, wind roaring out towards right. Pretty good night to be a left-handed pull hitter. And let's check out the starting lineups for Buck Showalter's Baltimore Orioles. They will go with Nick Markakis to lead things off. Manny Machado back from the disabled list here in the month of May. Then Jones, Davis, Cruz, Clevenger, Hardy, Flaherty, and David Lowe, the former Royal.
Okay, now these guys, a lot of them in this lineup faced Ventura, and they're going to see if they can make some adjustments with him. But when you got 3 quality pitches, it could be a tough adjustment.
Making the start for Kansas City is Yordano Ventura. He is still getting ready to come out, and the Royals are taking the field, and Ventura will make his 8th start of the year. He is 6th in the American League in earned run average, 3rd in batting average against, and he must be tough to pick up at night because he's number 1 nighttime ERA, Rex, at 1.64.
He hasn't given up a whole lot of runs anyway, with a nice 2.34 ERA. You see that? Had a real nice April. If he's on, he's going to be tough to hit. mid to upper 90s fastball. Big overhand curve and changeup. Those are his specialties. It's up to Salvador Perez to harness him and quarterback him through it.
Well, he does have an excellent defense, and they have been defending very, very well this year. Now, the pitchers have made 9 errors, but the rest of the team has only made 18.
That's a solid defense, and we're going to bring you that around the horn by your Midwest Ford dealers. Salvador Perez is highlighted. Why? Because he's got pickoffs. He's got throwing skills. Catch and throw, they don't come much better. He's fun to watch, especially if any runners do get on. Bird's not really known for their steals. David Lowe's got the most on their team with 4.
Brian Honora, 18th year in the big leagues. He is the crew chief and will be calling the balls and strikes. Doug Eddings, another veteran at first base. Chris Siegel at second. And Corey Blazers, the third base umpire.
If we got a quick moment, let's show you Salvy's 10th pickoff of the year last night. Big situation. That's when you want to do it. Pull it out when it really means something. Moose snuck in behind the runner. Salvy's throw was perfectly placed right over the bag. Oh, it's not just his glove that's golden. His arm and his smile are golden.
I talked to him about that play before the game, and he really said it was all about Moose. Moose let him know that the guy was getting too big a lead and that he could get to the bag for the throw, so they put the play on.
Yeah, those signs are all gone on, and they give them in the dugout, and they all, they put them on when they feel like they can pick a runner. When you got a guy that can throw, you put them on.
The Orioles come in cold. They have lost 4 straight, getting swept by the Detroit Tigers. And the Royals right now trail the Tigers by 5.5 games in the American League Central. KC in second place in the Central. The Orioles lead the American League East by a half game over the Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Here is Nick Markakis. Very consistent player and hitting .291 after hitting .271 last year. Ventura goes 97 up and in.
Okay, now he's swinging first 2 pitches. We'll see how they try to make their adjustments. They want to get the fastball. They don't want those secondary pitches because when they're executed, they're really good. He's going to give him another fastball.
Fastball up, taken by Markakis, and that's the question I wanted to bring up to you early in this game, Rex. The fact that this is a veteran Baltimore team, and they will make adjustments after Ventura tore them apart at Camden Yards.
So far in the first at bat, they're swinging early. That tells me they want that fastball. Now that curveball he laid off of. Markakis was 2 for 3 in their only other confrontation. So he hit a couple of balls to the opposite field. Clean base hits.
Last pitch was a changeup. Now he comes with the heat, and it's lined to left field for a base hit. So Markakis, who went 2 for 3 off Ventura at Camden Yards, he was one of the few Orioles to get knocks off of Giordano in 8 innings of shutout work. Manny Machado, good to see him back and healthy. He injured his left knee September 23rd last year, and they really thought he'd be ready by spring training. He was not, had a setback there, and was on the disabled list until May 1st. And once again, Rex, as you said, going after the heater early.
That's going to be their plan. It's obvious. So Ventura wants to be able to locate his fastball down if he possibly can make that adjustment early. And when it's up, they can hit it like Markakis did.
One ball, 1 strike. Manny only hitting .176 last year as a rookie. Hit .283, not only with 14 home runs, but with 51 doubles. And they really feel he'll be the cornerstone of their franchise for a long, long time. Foul back.
It's going to take him a little time to get his rhythm. When you join the team second month of the season, pitchers are all way ahead. Take him some time. Now last year when he got up, he'd been playing every day in the minors, and he just kept going.
A ground ball, foul. So the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Royals coming off a sweep of the Colorado Rockies, and they received great pitching 5-1, 3-2 victories. Shields and Vargas allowed only 3 runs combined in 13 1/3 innings. And they cooled off a very good National League offense.
That's what pitching does. That's the weapon you need.
Lined up the middle, so both hitters get 2-strike singles, and Baltimore with a good start to this one.
They are keying on that fastball. Salvi's going to go out to the mound. Looked like that was a changeup. So that, but it still was over the middle of the plate. All right. Salvi's going to talk to him a little bit about with the runners on here. Don't be too concerned with the runners. Just keep the ball down, and maybe we can entice one of them to hit it into a double play.
Yeah, his changeup usually has a lot of fade to it. That one did not. And now a very dangerous and hot hitter, Adam Jones, is up. He's been the hottest Oriole of late. He with a 9-game hit streak to raise his average to 280. Hitting .368 with 4 home runs in his last 9 games. Swung on and missed. Once again, fastball early. Baltimore swinging early. He has another Oriole down in the count with 2 strikes. Now, the O's big problem during this 4-game losing streak has not been their pitching, it's been their offense. Their offense limited to 9 runs in the 4 games and held to 1 run twice and 2 runs once. Yesterday, they lost to Detroit 7-5. Ground ball short. Escobar has it. They've got 1 and they've got 2.
Excellent quick hands by Giovitella on the throw. Escobar had a slight grip problem getting it out of his glove. Gio gets on top and got rid of it with some petrol on it. Got up off his feet so sliding base runner can take him down. Very nice turn.
I thought that was going to be tough to double Adam Jones, who really runs well, but as you said, Gio with a good turn. And here is Chris Davis. He's trying to get his game together. Just taken off the disabled list on May 11th. Went 1 for 11 in that Detroit series and only batting .242 with 2 home runs. And he was everybody's all-star last year when he belted a league-leading 53. Well, Ventura goes after him 97. Chris, like the first 3 batters, went after the first pitch fastball. And prior to going on the disabled list, the last pitcher that Davis faced was Giordano. Check out this swing, Hud.
Yeah, I thought it was his ankle. Looked like he rolled his ankle, but ended up being an oblique.
And he left in the 4th inning of that game. Steve Lombardozzi came on, and they moved Markakis from the outfield to first base. So Davis back, and he always has the ability to drive in runs. He knocked in 138 last year. The 2-1, low, 3-1. Well, you have Davis now, and you go, wow, he's a tough left-handed batter. But the guy on deck, Nelson Cruz, has been one of their most productive players on this young season. Nelson Cruz. 3-2. Would you stay with the fastball, and where would you go location?
Yeah, you know, I might stay with it. He likes to stay with his fastball at least first time through. He's going to throw a majority of them, and Salvi had him shake just to get Davis thinking.
Then he went heater and came in on him, and the ball popped up and foul, and it stays 3 balls and 2 strikes. Davis a little late going after that Ventura fastball, but he went 96 and then 97 after him before that last foul off. Got him. Blew him away with a 98-mile-an-hour heater. 2 hits, no runs for Baltimore.
Stay with it if it's working. And it did there. That's a beauty.
From the Orioles at Camden Yards, and this is the starting lineup that Ned Yost will go with tonight. Aoki, Hosmer, Butler, Salvador Perez will clean things up. Then Gordon, Valencia, Giovitella, Lorenzo Cain, and Alcides Escobar. And on the hill for the Orioles will be Wei-Yin Chen. He's a left-hander who was tough on the Royals, allowed just 2 runs in 7 innings of work at Camden Yards, but did not get the decision because Baltimore won it in extra innings.
No, he's very good. This guy, he mixes his pitches well. He's about 89 to 93 with his fastball. He's going to sink it, slider, slow curve, and a nice split finger that he'll use to get guys to swing and miss on. This Orioles defense is pretty good. They were really good last year. This year they're the same guys. They got 3 Gold Glovers out there, Jones, Hardy, and Machado, to go with the Royals' 3 Gold Glovers. The only 2 teams in the American League that have 3 on each team.
They set a major league record in fielding percentage at .991 last year. Only committed 54 errors. Wow. Well, Aoki will lead things off. He was 2 for 4 in his career against Chen. Grounded to third. Manny Machado won a Gold Glove last year and wings it across the diamond for the first out.
Royals now are facing their 6th left-handed starter in their last 13 games, so they're getting a little taste of lefties. And what they've been doing is a .245 average as a team with 5 homers against southpaws this year. Their record is 6-5 against left-handed starters.
Hosmer chomping at the bit to get a knock. 0 for 8 on this homestand after a fabulous road trip where he hit .452.
His numbers off a way in are pretty good though. 6 for 14. 2 homers.
Wind blowing out towards right. It's been between 15 and 25 miles an hour coming from the northwest. Hosmer pulls it. Davis will take care of it, and very quickly 2 outs in the Royal first. So Wei-Yin Chen has been pitching better and better the last few starts. He gave up 2 in his last start to Houston, 2 earned runs in the previous start to Minnesota, and we told you about the 2 in 7 innings against the Royals back on April 26th. So an ERA under 3 in his last 3 starts, and now facing Billy Butler.
Billy's 8 for 15. He's had some success off of Chin as well with a couple of homers.
where the Royals would love to get the early lead. They usually win when they score first. They're 14-5 this year when they do score first. Billy swings and misses at the off speed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Billy enjoyed a career high 79 walks last year. And Rex, he's swinging at pitches he didn't swing at last year. And then Chen comes way inside, almost hit him. And Billy's in conversation with Brian Honora. Probably saying Chen's control is much better than that. They just came off a series that was a little heated with Detroit. Torrey Hunter got hit by Bud Norris, and both sides kind of had a little shoving going on. But quite frankly, looking back on that, Rex, I think the last thing Norris wanted to do was hit Torrey Hunter, because you know who's coming up later. Miguel Cabrera.
That's right.
The 3-1 pitch, and Butler takes his strike. It's 3-2.
K.O. Nora looks like he's going to give that outside pitch. If he does, hopefully Ventura gets it.
Deep short. J.J. Hardy skips it to Davis, and Butler is out. And Chen with 3 ground ball outs in the first inning. We head to number 2 looking for our first run. It's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. If they're sending a photo of their favorite Royal, Rodano Ventura is on the hill, ready for his second inning of work. Worked out of trouble in the first, and now will face Nelson Cruz.
See if he's swinging early.
Nope.
First batter that hadn't swung at the first pitch.
Good productive numbers. 11 home runs, 33 RBIs. And he swings and misses at the next fastball at 97.
You know he throws hard, but with that nice, easy, fluid delivery, that ball explodes out of that right hand. You could call him sneaky, but he just throws hard, man. I mean, it's so smooth.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who can get away with a mistake, because he's bringing it in upper 90s. And then runs one in on Cruz, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nelson took Verlander deep yesterday after Justin threw at him. In there, strike 3 called. Boy, he painted the outside corner at the knees.
Staying with the fastball. And when you're not having any problem getting guys out with that pitch, you stay with it and don't even show them your secondary pitches. However, they have seen those. There's not a hitter I know of that wants to touch that curveball. I'd like to, but it can be hit. We saw what he did in San Diego. Hung a pitch, cost him a 3-run homer.
That might have been his first curveball of the night. He went with 16 fastballs and 4 off-speed pitches in the first inning. This is Steve Clevenger taking over for the injured Matt Wieters. And Wieters, as you know, there was some question mark about his elbow if he would need Tommy John surgery, but then they found no structural damage. So Wieters on the disabled list, and still a question mark on when he'll return. Foul back.
It's a wait and see.
But that is a big man to replace, not only behind home plate, but he's in the middle of that offense, usually hitting 5th or 6th. Curveball hit in the air. Kane off to the races, and Lorenzo runs it down.
Curveball hangs in the air a little bit, stays about belt high. You can get some good wood on it. On contact, I didn't think Kane was going to get to it, but he's this great explosive speed and perfect route to the ball.
That's what's great about Rusty Kuntz, who works with the outfielders. He not only takes into consideration what the opponents are hitting, Rex, but also what his outfielders' talents are. And for Kane, Rusty really believes he goes back on the ball as well as any center fielder in the game, so he'll play him shallow. J.J. Hardy fouling it off the right side and out of play. So Hardy down 0-2. It's hard to believe he has no home runs this year after he belted 25 last season.
Going through a little power outage right now, but a lot of players are.
Up and in. He's had a little bit of a back and leg difficulty. He hasn't come out of many games, but he's a fighter. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Every once in a while, Ventura lets that fastball go, and it's up and in, and it's really a dangerous pitch. That also weighs in the back of the mind of the hitter.
Down the left field line, Gordon has to play it off the wall, and J.J. races to second base and makes it a stand-up double. Well, he's not locating his off-speed that well yet.
Yep, that changeup's going to get whacked around if he keeps throwing it up there like that. And the curveball. Both of those pitches are elevated so far tonight.
So Hardy at second base, and the 2 guys that got Ventura at Camden Yards have already picked up a couple of hits. Markakis went 2 for 3. Hardy went 2 for 3, and they've immediately picked up hits. Markakis with a single, and now J.J. with a double. And here's Ryan Flaherty.
The Orioles through May 1st were hitting .315 with a runner in scoring position, but since May 2nd they've only hit at .186 in 12 games. So they've kind of cooled off when it comes to picking up the big hits. Hopefully it stays that way.
Ventura's been very good with runners in scoring position this year. You see runners on base 162, even better with men in scoring position 161, and with 2 outs not even a buck. Flaherty taking a rip at on a 2-0 count, looking for the fastball, still swinging and missing. And they may stay with that pitch with 2 out, simply because he hasn't shown much command with the changeup or curve. Valencia gave it a chase, but well beyond his reach. But Ventura right back in the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and looks like Ryan may have broken his bat. If the Royals win 2 games in this series, they would clinch the season series, and the Royals have not won in back-to-back season series against Baltimore since 1977-78, their glory years. They beat the Orioles last year, winning the season series, and have a 2-1 edge this year. Popped up. Salvi will give it a look, but it's back in the seats. Fans, join us tomorrow for Buck Night and summer fireworks as the Royals host the Orioles. Select items are just $1 at the concession stand, so you can stock up on hot dogs, peanuts, and small Pepsi products. Then stay after the game for the fireworks show, courtesy of Hy-Vee and Pepsi. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Stay heater?
I would, if it's down low. There you
It
go.
is, and he punches it to Escobar, who makes a nice play to throw out Flaherty, and another good job by Ventura with runners in scoring position. Salvador Perez will lead things off. He has 4 home runs this year, tied for the team lead. The Royals' second inning, and Salvi had a big hit in that Colorado 5-1 win in the opener.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Salvador tie with Mike Moustakas, the team lead with 4 home runs. He belted that solo shot the other night. That was after Kane gave the Royals the lead on a home run, and then Salvi came up in the 5th inning and hit one off Franklin Morales, a left-handed pitcher. Wei-In Chen has given up 3 this year, and all 3 home runs, 2 right-handed batters. Strike 1. Now it's 0-2. Try to check his swing. Well, you could see Clevenger motioning that he wanted him to bounce a ball in the dirt and see if Perez would chase it. He did not.
Salvi's done a much better job of being selective this year. 12 walks. Good for him.
He rolls that one, and Chen is able to pick it off and throw out Salvi. But did he stay on the bag? Yes, he did. Chris Davis was able to keep that right toe on the bag as Chen's throw was a little wide. So that's 4 outs recorded in all 4 groundouts. And he's been an equal opportunity guy. The third baseman took care of the first one. The first baseman took care of the second out. The shortstop the third out. And now the pitcher gets an assist on the 4th out. Only one who hasn't handled one yet is the second baseman. Strike one. Alex looking for his first hit on this homestand, and that was after going 7 for 15 in Seattle.
Wei-Yin Chen, he's right around the plate. When he's going good, he's hitting his spots on the corners, and he's able to bring that slow curve in against lefties.
Good curve.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, we talked about the second baseman was the only one who hasn't had an assist. So each of the infielders have recorded an assist on the first 5 outs of this game. And as we take a look at the Academy Sports and Outdoors, Chen's best pitch is his curve, and it hasn't been as strong this year yet. But if he throws it like this, Hud, oh man.
Well, it's elevated too now. That pitch Alex took, he'll put that in the back of his mind, and if he sees another one of those, he might try to pull that for a double.
You can see what Chen has done on his curveball this year. Batter's hitting .375. Last year he threw a slower curve, and his numbers were better. They only hit .184 off of his curveball last year. About 3 miles an hour less. Now Danny Valencia, who played for the Orioles last year and had 5 stints with the big league club, had a good season, hitting .304 with 8 home runs and 23 driven in. So Dayton Moore said we'll give him a chance. They traded David Lowe, who's starting for Baltimore tonight in left field. And Danny sends one high in the air and deep to right. It's beyond Jones. And Valencia off to second base. He'll put the brakes on there and stay with a 1-out double.
And that's a smart move.
2-out double, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, with 2 outs, you're in scoring position. Don't need to try to make that 3rd out or try to get in there and then throw you out. So you're already in scoring position. This ball was slicing away from Jones, who got a great jump on it. And he'll tell Wei-Yin Chen, my bad, I thought I should have had that. Just off the end of his glove. He got a good jump right on contact. But Valencia will take it.
Now Danny hoping that Johnny Giavotella can get him home. Ned Yost was talking to us before the game about Johnny, saying, you know what, last year we called him up and he was in and out of the lineup. Now with Infante injured, he's playing practically every day, and he's getting more comfortable, more consistent, and obviously more confident. Ball 1. Right now at 238, he told us that his biggest hit of his big league career with the Royals, that home run in Seattle that won the game. 9-7 on Sunday. Strike 1-1.
It's a nice interview on Joel Goldberg's High V Royals Live, where he was talking about that. Said, hey, look, you know, that might have been the biggest hit I've had in my short major league career. Hopefully I can get a few more for the team.
He was hitting .352 at Omaha when he was recalled, and I remember checking out his Storm Chasers numbers, and he was flirting with .400 for much of April.
He missed that one. That was his pitch there. And immediately, Clevenger, the catcher, he looked at Chin and said, get that pitch in.
Here's the 1-2, and it is low. That was that sneaky breaking ball that barely missed the outside corner. And the count is even, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Gio had his extra hit swing there. Now he needs to shorten it up and make some contact and find a hole. You mentioned how every infielder for the Birds so far in this game have fielded a ball. Now it's time to find a hole at the right time.
He pulls it to third, and that's a foul ball. Well, Machado is really special, but that was a foul ball all the way. Gio's heading back to the dugout, but he doesn't realize that even though the first base ump called him out, that the third base umpire threw his arms in the air saying it was a foul ball.
You can't assume anything in baseball. You got to go through with the play.
Machado's pretty good, isn't he? How about this throw?
Yeah, he's pretty good. That's a great practice.
Looks like Joe Montana rolling to his right.
Yep, great practice play. So Gio's going to try to get his wind back. That's the hardest thing when a guy runs full out like that. Now you got to focus, concentrate, and it's hard to do that when you're breathing heavy.
He called time again. Valencia at second. Back up the middle. Chen is there and throws out Johnny. The Royals do get their first hit, but leave Valencia at second. And when we come back, Joe Goldberg will be talking with Ace's mom.
Is back on the hill for the top of the third, and on a nice chilly night. Well, what a perfect night to welcome someone into the United States for the first time in this cold weather. That right there is Marisol Hernandez, the mother of Yordano Ventura, and we are joined by her right now. First time ever to Kauffman Stadium, first time ever seeing her son pitch in the big leagues. Betty Cagle's here to help translate. Betty from the Royals. So how exciting is this?
Emocionada estás de ver a tu hijo pichar.
Muy emocionada y contenta a la vez porque nunca pensé que estaría aquí mirándolo. Uy, buena jugada.
I could translate that. That was good, right?
Good play. She said that she's very excited and because she never thought that she would see her son on a Major League Baseball game.
And you get to watch at home, but what is it like in person? How nervous are you?
Que dice que él sabe que tú ves esto en la casa, en el internet.
Sí.
Pero que qué tan emocionada estás de verlo en persona y que si estás nerviosa.
Un poco de nervio, pero con el frío no se me nota. Pero sí muy contenta, sí.
I think I got that one. A little nervous, a little cold, but happy, right?
Well,
Close enough.
very close, but this is good when she says that she's nervous, but because it's cold, so you cannot notice that she's nervous because you think she's cold. So that was a good one.
Yeah, it's not fair. It is very cold here right now in Kansas City. What was Giordano like as a young boy?
Que cómo era Giordano de niño.
Muy travieso, muy inquieto, no se quedaba tranquilo en ningún sitio. Yo tenía que salir siempre al vecindario a buscarlo para dormir en la casa, porque siempre estaba con sus amigos.
She says she was hyperactive and she likes to go out. She was always after him looking on the neighbors' houses because he likes to go and play with all the children in the neighborhood.
And he told us that growing up his favorite player was Pedro Martinez, and now he wants to be like Pedro Martinez.
Y cuando él creció, él les dijo que su jugador favorito era Pedro Martínez, que ahora él quiere ser como Pedro.
Sí, la foto de la escuela siempre él tomaba su recordatorio de Pedro Martínez para ponerlo donde ponen la foto. Sí.
She said that even in school, he always, when they take pictures, he always wanted to have a Pedro Martinez photo behind him or something like that.
Well, he looks like a young Pedro Martinez. And the last question, can you believe at 22 years old that he throws sometimes over 100 miles an hour?
Que si puedes creer que a los 22 añitos él puede tirar una pelota a 100 millas por hora.
Sí, sí, claro que sí. 100 y 101.
Correction, 100 and 101.
Oh, sure.
She believes that because she feeds him very well, I guess, right?
That's good. Mom's cooking.
Sí, muy bien.
Sometimes 102.
He says sometimes que algunas veces 102.
Sí, 102, pero muy pocas veces. Wait, doble play.
Oh, I think they're safe at second. Mom wants the double play there, and maybe she can talk to the umpire. Ended up being just safe at second base, got the out at first. But I think, guys, you understand, whatever the language is, that mom right here, Giordano Ventura's mom, Marisol Hernandez, very much into the game, very much loving being here, even if the weather is maybe a little bit colder than anything she's ever dealt with before.
What a brilliant attempt by Gio. Man, that was fancy. I didn't know Gio had that in his repertoire.
Well, they were able to get the out at first base, unable to get Markakis advancing. He was running on the play, so they had no chance to get Nick. And once again, for the third straight inning, Baltimore has a runner in scoring position. Ventura has been able to bear down. Great interview again by Joel Goldberg. Marisol Hernandez, Giordano Ventura's mom, who's seeing her son play in a major league game for the first time. She told Joel, I never thought he'd make it to the big leagues. And everybody remembers that when he was signed, he was 5'10" and 140 pounds and threw 82 miles an hour. Well, just a few years later, he added 20 miles an hour to his velocity. Has to get a good hitter out in Adam Jones. And he lines it to center field. Kane going back, reaches up and makes a nice running catch. So Giordano right now is glad he's got good defense, and he's got maybe a future Gold Glover in center field.
Great adjustment. He's got skills.
seat. He's a speech therapist and owner of New Balloon Therapy Services. Keenan created an event to bring awareness of how beautifully funny the lives of families of children with autism can be. The fundraiser, entitled An Evening with the Rents, featured parents of children diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder working with local comedians to turn their stories about parenting a child with special needs into stage-ready comic material. And all proceeds, Rex, from the sold-out event went to benefit Camp Encourage, an overnight summer camp devoted to the social growth and independence of children with autism.
Congratulations, Keenan Stump, for your work in the community and opportunity to sit in that great seat.
Buck O'Neil, what a great Kansas City Monarch. Played and managed for them. And just tremendous gentleman, and that's why we honor him every single home game. Here is Lorenzo Cain, made that terrific catch to rob the O's of a run last frame. And the off speed is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lorenzo 2 for 5 in the Colorado series, including a big home run in Tuesday's win. Base hit left field. So 3 hits on this homestand for Lorenzo.
Lorenzo Cain going to up that average against lefties now. He coming in before that hit, 278 with 1 homer. Getting on base. That play that he made in the game, look where he is straight away. Okay, that ball's the toughest ball to judge. See, he turned one way, but he made the correct adjustment by keeping his back to the wall, keeping his eye on that ball the whole way. Beautiful adjustment.
I talked to him last week about his first organized baseball was as a 10th grader in the state of Florida, and they immediately, as a sophomore, Rex, put him in at the hot corner. He said he failed miserably at third base, but they sent him to center field, and he goes, I felt comfortable immediately. And I said, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh. Escobar, his average is on the upswing, but his average against left-handers is really on the upswing. 364 with 1 homer. That's 10th in the American League in average against lefties.
Big grand slam, his first of his career on Sunday in the Royals' 9-7 win over the Mariners. And a bunt try. It will roll foul.
Okay, Escobar, during this nice little streak he's on right now, has been hitting the ball from line to line, anywhere in the middle. He hits it where it's pitched. He's seeing the ball well. And if Wei-Yin Chen leaves the ball up with a little bit of off speed, he could pull it down that line for a double, might score Cain.
Tough to get by that left side. Machado won the gold last year, and J.J. Hardy won the gold at short. This is a very good defense.
Give him a fastball in right here.
That will find the front row. So now Alcides down in the count, 0-2. Chen has not struck out a Royal yet. He has 32 strikeouts this year in 41 innings. Wei-Yin Chen, now 28 years of age, out of Taiwan, signed with Baltimore in January of 2012 to a 3-year contract. There's one down the line, but that could be a 5-4-3, and it is a double play.
Yeah, that was the one, but it was right at him, unfortunately. And Machado, his throw is so quick and hard to second base. That's what enabled him to turn that double play. By getting it to Flaherty so quickly, he could get a speedy Escobar. And that feed that Flaherty got was just where you want it as a second baseman, right over that bag.
Orioles with no runs on 4 hits. The Royals no runs on 2 hits. Aoki grounded out to third his first time up. breaking ball in there, 1-1.
Always got a nice average against lefties at 342.
And fans, this Saturday for one day only, you can buy tickets to any Royals home game, and all convenience fees will be waived. This sale is good for all games, including the upcoming homestand against the Yanks and Cards June 4th through the 11th, with promotions like summer fireworks, a free Royals tote bag, a Nori Aoki poster giveaway, and a T-shirt Tuesday. Fans can also forego fees for upcoming matchups with the Dodgers, Giants, and Red Sox. The sale begins this Saturday at 12:01 a.m. and runs until 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, May 17th. Visit Royals.com today to start planning your trips to the K. Just barely got a piece of it. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, trying to get Aoki to chase, and so he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. The left fielder had him played perfectly, and racing over David Lowe, former Royal, makes the basket catch, and that will do it for KC in their half of the third. Who holds the Royals single season strikeout record as a reliever? Greg Holland, Jeff Montgomery, Scott Service, Jim York. Text Sprint at 432-432 and enter A, B, C, or D. And I believe we're with the man who knows the answer, Jeff Montgomery himself. He has more saves than any other Royal. Monty, great to have you with us. I just wanted your thoughts on Ventura, also with his mom in the ballpark, so he's got to be a little nervous.
Well, that's got to be very exciting for him, for her to come over and have an opportunity to see him play here in Kansas City. I wish we could have given her a warmer night, but I'm sure he's going to warm things up with his performance.
Steve Physiok, Rex Hudler, Jeff Montgomery with you. And with the Sprint family plan, everyone gets unlimited talk, text, and 1 gigabyte of data for as low as $25 a month per line. While on the Sprint network, the more people added, up to 10 total, the lower your rate. Plus, while you'll save as a team, all accounts can be billed individually. Again, the question, who holds the Royals' single-season strikeout record as a reliever? And Monty has said many times that Greg Holland had the greatest single season ever, and it came last year.
It was a great year, and I think the answer to that, maybe he's the guy, I'm pretty sure, with that outstanding season last year. But you know, talk about great seasons by relievers. Dan Quisenberry has come in that conversation as well, because Quiz was a guy that threw a lot of innings every year. He had 120, 130 innings, I think, in a couple of his great seasons. But last year, the dominance that Greg Holland had, I thought that was special.
And Quiz was more of a ground ball specialist with that submarine sinker. And Davis will work the walk.
Monty, when your folks were in the stands for you early in your career, did it make a difference in the way you carried yourself and how nervous you might have been?
Not really. I think you try to do everything you can possibly do to kind of remain calm and be yourself on the mound, but certainly are aware of the fact of, at times, even in the big leagues, they're following you around and watching you play.
Which parent was your personality most like?
Probably like my dad. A lot of people said I resembled my dad.
There's a drive to center, and Kane going back, and that's a home run.
Just a matter of time. His pitches have been elevated the whole game so far.
So a walk, and then what Baltimore does best, hit home runs. They led the American League in home runs last year with 212, and that's number 34 this year, and number 12 for Cruz.
You're going to see this ball is going to drift back to the middle part of the plate, right to the fat part of the bat. And when you have it up and you run it in the middle part of the bat, a guy like Cruz, oftentimes this is the result, Rick.
Yeah, you know, the ball is not carrying in this cool atmosphere here at the K, so he's a big, strong guy, and he got every bit of that. And, of course, when you hit a pitch with that type of velocity on it, that also helps with the trajectory of the ball.
Now Steve Clevenger. He flied out to right center field. A fine run and catch by Kane his first time up. A swing and a miss. And Clevenger's the first out of the fourth. But Rex, you're right. I was watching batting practice today, and usually balls pretty well struck get out of here in BP, but the Royals and Orioles both were crushing some balls, and they were dying at the warning track.
Weather's cool, don't carry.
And now the wind has died. It started out 15 miles an hour, blowing out towards the right field area. Batter J.J. Hardy. He doubled his first time up. Sends this one up the middle. Giovitella should have it. He does, and 2 out.
Steve, one thing I think it's interesting is the approach the Orioles hitters are taking against Giordano this time. They just saw him 3 weeks ago in Baltimore. This will be the first time that he's faced a team twice in a season now in his young career. So you could tell that they're trying to get an opportunity to hit that fastball, swinging early in counts, and that's what they've done so far.
Well, he's been able to get some early count outs, but he also left a fastball up in the heart of the plate to Nelson Cruz, and Cruz took him deep. It's 2-0 Baltimore. Baseball is brought to you by Panera, coming soon to College and King in Overland Park. And by Midwest Ford. Visit us at your MidwestFordDealers.com. It's a beautiful but cool evening in Kansas City. We didn't expect this the middle of May, but here we are. Temperatures in the 50s. Everybody's bundled up, and still a hot dog tastes just as good with the right amount of mustard. That's what you do. You pull up the hood, put your ball cap on top of that. And here we go in the bottom half of the fourth inning. The Royals trailing 2-0 after Cruz hit his 12th home run, and it will be Hosmer, Butler, and Perez. Wei-Yin Chen has allowed just 2 hits, a double by Valencia and a single by Kane. That's hit sharply. It'll drop for a hit in front of Lowe, and he traps it in front of him, and Hosmer has his first hit of this homestand. Hey fans, this Sunday is our tribute to the Negro Leagues and a new element called Dress to the Nines. Help honor the tradition of attending Negro Leagues games by dressing in your Sunday best, and will complete your outfit as the first 10,000 fans will receive a Monarchs fedora. Ticket prices start as low as $15 with a portion supporting the Negro League Baseball Museum. For more information, go to Royals.com/NLBM, and that young lady sporting a beautiful Monarchs fedora. Here is Billy Butler. It's really a special day, Rex and Monty, because when you take a look at baseball history in Kansas City, it really starts with the Monarchs and their great success back in the 1920s, and will be representing them this Sunday. One ball, 1 strike to Butler.
Some beautiful uniforms that the players will be sporting.
And both regions had great baseball. Baltimore had a great baseball team from the Negro Eastern League. And of course, the Monarchs were legendary. And fans, we encourage you, if you have not been, to get to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, founded in 1990. It is beautifully designed, and one of the originators of the group was Buck O'Neill. There's a swing and a miss, and we sure miss Buck. He passed away a few seasons back, but a great baseball man and an absolutely wonderful gentleman to draw stories from in the past. And he could go all the way back to the 1920s, 1930s, when he played against guys like Josh Gibson and Buck Leonard. Billy chases a ball in the dirt and strikes out. Well, let's take a look at the uniforms that you'll have a chance to see this coming Sunday. Kansas City Monarchs, and they'll be from the mid-1920s season.
Yeah, Baltimore will be wearing their B's on, and then Kansas City will be having these beautiful pinstripers.
And the Monarchs won the Negro League World Championship in 1924. And what they'll be representing, Salvador with a base hit up the middle, so the Royals have 2 on with 1 out. Tying runs on here in the bottom of the fourth for Alex Gordon.
Looked like a changeup that Wei-Yin Chen left a little bit out of the plate. Salvador Perez doing nice staying back. Hit the ball up the middle.
Right back where it came from. You're right on the ball.
So fans, we hope to see you here on Sunday. How about all weekend long? Tomorrow night it'll be Guthrie against Tillman. That's going to be a great matchup. Jeremy going up against his old team. Saturday, Duffy against Norris. Sunday, James Shields against Ubaldo Jimenez. Here is Alex Gordon, 16 RBIs this year. Fouled back. And left-handers hitting .429 this year against the lefty Chen. Monty, why?
Well, I think he's just a guy that he's sometimes equal as effective against righties as lefties. He's not your typical lefty that has that dominant or overpowering stuff.
And you take a look at his career numbers, it's reverse, where he's able to get left-handers out, but not this year, at least the first 6 weeks. Alex pulls it in the hole, right field. Coming around is Hosmer. They'll hold him. They know Markakis has an outstanding arm, although the ball skips away from Clevenger. But the throw would have been in time. So Gordon does come through to load the bases. And now Danny Valencia.
Found the hole just right. Now he struck the ball well. Markakis, one of the best throwers there are, and Swaim knows that. With less than 2 outs, he held him for a hot hitter in Valencia. Hopefully he can deliver here. Hosmer had to put the brakes on.
Markakis was a junior college All-American pitcher.
Hosmer was thinking scoring all the way on that, and that's exactly what you want to do. Come hard around the bag. Let the third base coach direct you from there.
And Rex, you're an offensive player. Danny Valencia's up now, and Chen's been getting a lot of ground ball outs. What does Danny's philosophy have to be?
Stay inside the ball. Look for something out over early in the count. He's going to try to get in there with a strike. Stay inside the ball if you can, and that'll keep you from rolling over. That's not what he wants to do. Get one airborne.
And Danny whacks it towards left. Foul. Well, like you said, Hud, he got a pitch to handle early in the count, and he took a rip.
Just out front of it a tick. Last 7 games he's hit .364, so he's going pretty good. Good and confident. Knocking a run or maybe more.
A little surprised to see Chen trying to come inside on him. I'd look for him to maybe go away and have him roll something over, maybe a ground ball up the middle.
Royals third baseman had a situation like this yesterday in the second inning with the bases loaded, and Mike Moustakas came through, clearing them with a double. Hit well, deep left field, low back, at the wall, makes the catch. Hosmer tags and comes home. Salvador goes to third, and he is safe.
Wow. Salvador, he ran in hard to Machado's knee. Hopefully he's okay. He was coming hard, Salvador Perez was, and he knew he had to. David Lowe has an excellent arm, and Salvi ran into Machado's knee. That's why, you know, going head first, you're taking chances. Some guys just like to go. They think they get there quicker, but you're going to be a lot safer by going feet first. There's just too many things that can happen. Your fingers can get caught on the base, just like Ben Zobrist did in yesterday's game for the Rays. He tweaked his thumb on going head first. Salvi ran into a knee, and that's what happens, especially when you start your slide late. And that's the last thing Salvi needed, was a head injury. Many foul tips as he'll take during the course of a season. Watch the momentum. Now he sees it. I thought this was going to be out of here, but again, the crosswind blowing kept it in. Hosmer will score easy. Now watch the momentum Salvi has coming into that base. Started slide late, and he ran right into Machado's right knee.
And immediately Nick Kenny, the head athletic trainer, and assistant athletic trainer Kyle Turner were out to tend to Salvador, and they're still right there with him.
I think the thing that made that hurt so much is his helmet flew off right before he got to Machado's knee, so he actually was unprotected, I believe, when he finished his slide.
Yeah, that'll mess with your jaw and your neck, everything. There's one more look.
And Machado, it was his right knee that Salvador ran into, and Machado's left knee was the one he had surgery on back September 23 last year. But Salvador has had some challenges with concussions in the past, and the Royals always ultra worried about their talented catcher who will stay in the game. Dale Swaim talking to him. The Royals have scored a run and cut the lead to 2-1. First and third.
A little bit more. Nita Hatta. Another Solani.
Machado comes over to ask Salvador how he's doing. It'll be Johnny Giavotella trying to tie this game up.
Loved how Valencia was aggressive early. Same thing for Gio here. Be ready.
Ball one.
Bases are loaded and there's men out there. You know, that pitcher wants to get in there with a strike early and then tease you later. Great job by Danny to get that run home.
Rex, you bring up a good point because so much about this game is momentum. Now it's on the Royals side because they were able to get that run home. But if they left the bases loaded, it might be a big deflator. Gordon loaded them by singling to right. Again, he comes in on Johnny. Ball and 2 strikes. He stayed away from Giavotella to get him out last time up. Gio hit a comebacker to the mound.
Wei-Yin Chen knows that Gio most likely is not going to hit a home run off of him, so he's coming right after him. He's challenging him. And Gio now has got a hit with about down in the count and going to face some of his split finger changeup combination here. Make it harder on him. Unless it's elevated, he's not going to be able to hit it.
Coming in again, but down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Nice block by Clevenger.
Clevenger replacing the former Gold Glove winner Matt Wieters, who is still on the DL with an injured elbow. Salvador Perez trying to tie this game. He's getting the lead at third.
You're just not going to get the quality of pitch when you're behind in the count like this, because you took the first 2 that were there. They were the meat pitch, the better pitches to hit.
Like we've seen the Orioles batters come out being aggressive on that fastball early in counts, taking advantage of those strikes.
That's right.
As you talk about losing Matt Wieters to the disabled list for the Orioles, that'd be really similar if the Royals were to lose Salvador Perez, a Gold Glover, a guy that can handle the bat, does a nice job. So that's a big loss for this Orioles club.
Both of them middle of the order hitters. 3-2. A base is open with the runners on the corners. Perez at third, Gordon at first.
Gio had a beautiful base hit in yesterday's game up the middle. That's what he wants to focus on here. Don't try to do too much. He's going to get a heater. Stay short to the ball.
Beyond Flaherty, and another chance for Johnny with a 3-2 count. He's a very competitive kid. Played middle linebacker in high school and was a leading tackler on his team. And I asked him how big he was at middle linebacker. Monty, he was 5'7", 170 as a middle linebacker in New Orleans. He's a Saints fan, as you might imagine. But he's a tough kid. Tries to drop it to right. Markakis coming on and makes the running catch. But the Royals do come up with a run on 3 hits and Danny Valencia's sacrifice fly. 2-1 Baltimore. as a Royal, and he was a Baltimore Oriole last year. Salvador Perez stays in the game after running into Manny Machado's knee, and both Royal trainers came out to check on him, but he's staying in. Yordan Ventura gave up a 2-run home run in the 4th to Nelson Cruz. The Royals got that run back, or a run back, in the 4th. Rather high pitch counts in the 1st and 2nd, but a little more favorable in the 3rd and 4th, although they hit him in the 4th with a walk and a home run, and then he got the next 3 in order. And now David Lowe. Lowe had a tough series coming back to play Kansas City at Camden Yards offensively, but made a tremendous catch in left field. They say he's been very good defensively, but slow start. Obviously, when you're hitting 176. Grounded out to Hosmer his first time up. Hos made a good play. He and Ventura teamed up to get David at first. Do you think we'll see more off-speed curveballs from Ventura 2nd, 3rd time through?
Well, it's obvious that the Orioles hitters are going to try to get the early count hits against the fastball, and they've been very aggressive in the count, and I think Giordano has to make some adjustments at some point. We know that the effectiveness of that breaking ball, when it's located well, is actually higher, a lower batting average against than his fastball.
Well, he went curveball then fastball to strike out Low, and that's 4 Ks in the game for Giordano, 48 on the season.
This is a very well located fastball up and in. That's a very difficult pitch to hit. It doesn't matter how good of a hitter you are.
Yeah, you're better off taking it.
61 of his 72 pitches thus far have been fastballs. The Orioles swinging early in the count, so Salvador tries to change up on them, as Markakis is the one guy they've been unable to get out. He's 2 for 2, and now he is 4 for 5 in his career against young Ventura.
And the way he's doing it is simply just staying short to the ball, keeping his hands inside, and shooting the ball to left field. He hasn't tried to pull him one time. Same swing there. He's got the right idea.
When Ventura pitched in Baltimore, he threw a career high 113 pitches. He's already at 75 and just 1 out in the 5th. Foul. Markakis on a 1-2 count, lined a single to left in the 1st.
Markakis making some really nice adjustments. Not trying to go up there to pull it.
And then Giordano decided to air 1 out. Instead, he misses badly, and the count 2-2. Markakis has the longest hit streak in the American League this year at 18, and it ended right before that Detroit series. And Giordano then dots the inside corner at 95. 5 strikeouts.
Like Markakis, look, he says, all right, sometimes I'll get you and sometimes you'll get me. So he's not going to complain. He's going to just walk off.
Salvador Perez with a very nice job in framing that pitch, too. It was in the strike zone, but he made it look even better for the umpire.
Sure enough.
Didn't miss by much on a breaking ball that came back in on Machado. He is 1 for 2. Tonight was the second Gordo Nation of the season, fans. We don't want you to miss your next one. Get this new limited edition Gordo Nation t-shirt and a seat near Alex in left field, all for $35. The next Gordo Nation, July 10, when Detroit comes to town. Join your fellow Royals fans and support all-star left fielder Alex Gordon. Go to Royals.com/Gordo Nation. Hey, Monty, it seems like Giordano is recoiling a little bit on some of his deliveries as a pitching coach.
Yeah, and
do you like that?
Yeah, sometimes he's just a guy that he's very relaxed, and sometimes he seems like he gets a little amped and he does have to recoil, but that's a good thing whenever you're staying under control.
Time called.
In the case of Kelvin Herrera, another hard thrower, Dave Island says when he would recoil, it would leave the ball up in the zone. He don't want him recoiling. Pitching coaches aren't real thrilled with that.
Look at that pitch. Struck out this side. David Lowe, Nick Markakis, and Manny Machado all gone.
This is what we want to see from Yordan Ventura for the rest of the night. Rex looking good on these 3 K balls.
Woo, was that nice?
Baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. The selection is bigger and the prices are lower at Thoroughbred Ford. And by Steel. Find a helpful servicing Steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. Steve Biziak, Rex Hudler, Jeff Montgomery, and Joel Goldberg with you at the K. Cool evening. Baltimore 2, Royals 1. Lorenzo Cain, who singled his first time up, will lead things off. Wei-Yin Chen's first pitch up high. And Monty, we have all wowed at what Yordan Ventura is doing as a rookie who's only 22 years old. But there's another rookie in the big leagues who really shouldn't be looked at as a rookie, but having a pretty good year. I wanted to ask you your impression of Masahiro Tanaka, who got his first complete game shutout, hasn't lost in 42 starts.
Well, he's a guy that I'm with you. I don't know if he should be considered a rookie based on the experience he brings with him from his experience over in Japan. It's a nice little opportunity here for first out of the inning, but he's a guy that knows how to pitch. He's got great stuff. He's got a variety of pitches, and pitching in the Big Apple, it seems like it's been a great opportunity for him to shine in that spotlight.
Last time he lost August 18th, 2012, Hud.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's just got a great split finger. There's no doubt about it. He's a lot like the guy in Seattle. What was that guy? Iwakuma. Yeah, filthy. Those guys, you know, that pitch is a real equalizer, especially when you change speeds with it.
And the ability to throw it where you want to. I mean, it seemed like it always looks like an illusion, like it's going to be a strike and then winds up in the dirt.
You know, Iwakuma, his location on almost every pitch he threw was just precise.
I said it was Maddox-like, which is the greatest compliment that you can give a pitcher. Here is Escobar. Hit into a 5-4-3 double play. Doesn't do that often because of his speed.
One thing about a pitcher, a lot of times you get evaluated on how many strikes you can throw, but really the art of pitching is throwing balls when you want to throw balls and throwing strikes when you want to throw strikes.
You were the first one to really bring that up to me. You said, I forget what game we were doing, and you said, you know what, he threw too many strikes. He threw 70% strikes. And I said, well, Monty, what's a good ratio? And you said 60%.
60
Why?
or a little above. I think you just have to be able to expand the strike zone. Now, you might get some swing and misses. And we saw James Shields the other day. What was it, like a 19 pitch at bat or a 14 pitch at bat he had in the second inning of his last start? And his percentage is way up there as a result of that.
Escobar singles up the middle. But I always think of pitch efficiency, where you get guys out early in the count and throw a lot of strikes. You can last longer into ball games. And by the way, fans, you can vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you will be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. And there certainly is a guy who's a great candidate, the way he plays defense and the way he has been swinging the bat lately. I mean, hitting .333 with a home run and 7 RBIs his last 9 games, plus this one.
Maybe he'll rip off his 12th bag.
I'd love to get him in scoring position for Aoki. Nori was 6 for 15 in Baltimore. First time he's ever played the Orioles. He's always hit left-handers well. 3-4-2. Well, that's not his best move.
Courtesy toss.
Yeah. I thought Davis might call for a fair catch. Upstairs, ball 1. Clevenger good defensively, but nowhere near the arm of a Matt Wieters.
Wei-Yin Chin, he kicks his leg out when he delivers, a lot like Iwakuma does.
And Tanaka. Foul. Ball down that line with Escobar's speed. That likely would have tied the game. Back-to-back lefties in Aoki and Hosmer. Escobar does not go, and the ball hit to the left side, low back. But again, the ball just not carrying on a cool night, and Aoki flies out to left.
Now, just the threat of Escobar being able to steal, and they know that he will steal, is going to give the hitter more fastballs. That's what Aoki was waiting for. He just couldn't stay on top of that ball. Aoki is not going to hit a home run to the opposite field. So anything in the air that way, most of the time, will be caught.
Well, our Honda most trusted player, how about Eric Hosmer? How did he weigh in on Chen in a meeting last year? Well, he belted 2 home runs. Why not now? Give the Royals the lead. Hey, look at that's a beautiful swing.
That was some bat speed right there.
It sure was. He does have some major bat speed. He hit 17 home runs last year.
Yeah, his bat stays in the zone a long time. Had a little uppercut. That's nice.
I like that one. Sometimes it gets a little violent with that swing, though, and he gets a lot of movement. That swing was very nice and compact.
Hosmer lashed a single to left field his last time up. He does have 15 doubles, second in the American League to Trevor Plouffe, who had 16 going into today. Minnesota and Plouffe did beat Boston tonight 4-3. To second base, Flaherty. Royals are done in the 5th. They get a hit but do not score, and we go to number 6 at the K. Baltimore 2, Royals 1. Has allowed 2 through 5, and it's time to pay off our Sprint family question of the day. Who holds the Royals single season strikeout record as a reliever? 45% said you, Monty, and you know the answer.
I don't think it's me. I think it's Greg Holland.
It's a tie.
Oh.
Sergeant York and General Holland. 6% said York, and he had 103 and 71, and Greg last year 103 in 2013, but Holland got his 103 in a lot fewer innings than Jim.
Having Monty up in the booth tricked the people.
They said, well, it's got to be him. No, Monty is a very humble man. He would not have himself as the winner. Here's Adam Jones. Breaking ball misses low and outside. Orioles with 2 runs on 5 hits. The Royals 1 on 6. Jones, Davis, and the man who hurt Ventura the most in the 4th inning, Cruz, then with a home run. Adam robbed in this game. Fine defensive play by Escobar and Giovatello to turn a 6-4-3 double play on Jones in the first, and then his liner caught by Kane last time up, and now Ventura makes quick work of him, and he has struck out 7 tonight and 4 in a row.
Does a nice job staying behind this pitch. Adam Jones way out in front.
Struck out the side in the 5th, and now Jones to open the 6th. Chris Davis strike 1, and he threw that identical pitch to start off his at bat in the 1st inning, and Davis swung and missed, came right back with a heater, and right now Davis's bat not quick enough to get that Ventura 98.
But you know, the way that Dale Swaim is playing the defense, you would think that he would be able to. I mean, he's not really a pull type of pitcher. He's not a guy you're going to pull, but they're playing him to pull.
And there's that recoil, Rex, you were talking about.
Yeah, when he recoils, it seems like he leaves the ball up a little bit. He's better off when he's nice and compact, very free and easy, and pitching downhill. He's just really smooth, and you get more velocity when you don't try to overthrow the ball, and sometimes it's easy when you throw 100+ miles an hour to want to overthrow it.
Well, there is another one at 98-99, and Davis looked up at the scoreboard to see the velocity, and yeah, he's got it. 5 straight strikeouts and 8 for the game.
See how the pitch goes downhill, Rex, and that's the key. It's a hard fastball, but he's got the arm slot up top, so he's able to throw downhill.
And that uppercut swing not going to make a lot of contact.
Our Jeep drive of the game was by this guy, Nelson Cruz, his last time up.
And that was the first home run he's given up to a right-handed batter this year.
Hit it out to center field. The ball not carrying that well right now. The flag's dead still, and they say he went. No, he did not, says first base umpire Doug Eddings, and the Royals were beginning to head off the field. Instead, they say Cruz did not go. Your thoughts?
It's a judgment call by the umpire.
What's your judgment?
Nah, he didn't go.
Okay, there we go.
Didn't ask a pitcher.
Well, that one is a strike. How about this? He has struck out 6 in a row, the side in the 5th and the 6th. Ventura's mom, mighty pleased.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. That is beautiful work.
Nice finish right there.
and look for the Kia display at gates B and D and register for your chance to win Diamond Club box tickets and the grand prize of throwing out the first pitch on September 21st. Well, we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Baltimore. In the 6th inning, of course, is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Ron Sontag from Kansas City, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Ron will win $800. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Ron will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Wei-Yin Chen has been hurt by Butler in the past. Billy 8 hits, 17 at bats, 2 home runs, but 0 for 2 tonight. A ground out and strikeout. And he had a good swing at that one, but fouled it straight back. It's difficult to see Butler at 236. I mean, if you look at this franchise history, you go George Brett, then Mike Sweeney, and then Billy Butler, his highest career batting averages. Billy at 296.
Just really didn't get his timing down in spring training the way he wanted to, and then got off to a slow start in April. In May, he's just starting to pick it up a little bit. Fall in there for him. Oh.
Davis will make the catch. And a check swing pop up by Butler, and there's one out.
Well, you know, you're going good when that falls on a check swing like that. But obviously, Billy is not going good right now. He couldn't get that to fall.
I promise you, Wei-Yin Chen feels like he's going pretty good when you get an out on a pitch like that.
That's right.
Salvador Perez singled his last time up. Royals scored a run in the 4th inning after Baltimore took a 2-0 lead on Cruz's home run. But then the Royals strung together 3 singles and a sac fly. That will get out of play. The Royals knew they would be up against somebody tough when they took a look at the video of the way Chen had been dealing lately, and the Orioles broadcasters told us he had been on the corners, really ahead of just about every count of the opponents he had faced recently. Fouled off 1 and 2.
And that's the element I believe that makes him so effective. He doesn't have overpowering stuff. Fastball just right in the 90-mile-an-hour range, but he's very aggressive with that fastball because he can locate it, especially on the inside part to right-handed batters.
He does a good job of keeping it low, keeping it down in the zone.
Upstairs. And when he was signed in 2012, they thought he might be in the minors, but he immediately made the big leagues and was named to the all-rookie team with 12 wins. Most wins by a rookie since Daniel Cabrera, won 12 in 2004. And barely missed outside. Wow. Good pitch. Good take by Salvador.
That had a little bit of a wrinkle on it and stayed up in the zone, and Salvi just missed it.
It might be a little chilly, but they're having fun wearing those sunglasses upside down. Being silly at the K. That time he got it on the hands of Perez.
Last few swings, Salvador has really fallen off hard towards that left-handed side of the batter's box. That tells me he's looking to drive something the opposite way. 3-2. He's sitting on one. Wants to see if he can find a gap.
Chen just not giving in. He's got to feel good about his location. I mean, he's commanding the ball exactly where he wants to.
Where that pitch count down?
Number 90 is on the way.
That's it. The more and more balls you foul off, the more confidence you gain. And you're waiting for the cookie. You just asked Honora, was that a good pitch?
Walked him.
That's an excellent plate appearance. 13th walk on the year.
He had 21 last year, only 21. And Ned Yost really feels like the pitches he's taking this year are more impressive than the ones he's swinging at, because he's putting himself at better counts. Darren O'Day starting to warm in the Orioles bullpen. Chen has gone 5 1/3. Tying run is on. Alex Gordon, the batter. He singled his last time up. And it's not like Perez is a threat to go, but Chen obviously not ready to throw to Gordon yet. Usually the Orioles give Wei-Yin Chen a lot of support. He is 3rd in the American League in run support, average at 7.2. Scott Kazmir leads the loop at 7.89, but they've given him just 2 to work with, and the Royals have only 1.
Numbers tell the story a lot about the overall game and what's going on before that, but they don't always tell the day-to-day story. Chen, when he goes 5 innings or fewer, the Birds are 6 and 10, but when he goes 5 1/3 innings or more, they're 30 and 16. He's right on that threshold.
In there, just barely grazed the outside corner to Gordo. They play him straight up in the outfield. A slight pull on the infield. That'll drop into right center. Salvador stops at second base. Tying run is in scoring position.
Jam shot that worked. Buck Showalter's going to come out now and have a little talk with Wei-Yin and say, hey, look, we got the guy coming up again. Valencia looks like he's swinging a pretty good bat. We're going to talk him out. Now, he's seen enough.
Oh, wow, how about that?
Yeah, Buck's not going to let him go any further.
Well, the Royals could counter with Mike Moustakas. We'll see, because Wei-Yin Chen coming out and Darren O'Day, who is a ground ball machine, coming on. He is our call to the bullpen by Chevy. Lead over the Royals, and Alex's wife right there.
Got his own fan club.
You can tell who she's rooting for as Alex just came through with a base hit. And we're going to see Darren O'Day, and he is a right-handed specialist, and I say that because everything sinks and slides, and right-handers have had a difficult time against him. So Darren O'Day comes out of the bullpen, and Baltimore this year, as far as inherited runners scoring, they have the highest percentage stranded at 83%. And for Darren O'Day, he has inherited 12 runners this year. Only 3 have scored.
Sinker slider.
Royals, you saw at the bottom, dead last.
Righties have hit just 212 with 1 homer against him. Left-handers 300. No homers. I thought maybe he might slip Moose in here to pinch hit.
But staying with Danny Valencia, who has doubled and hit a sacrifice fly. Ball 1.
Get Ventura some runs.
In there. That's why he's in there. The righty's only batting .212 against him this year, but the 1 home run he allowed to a right-hander, Mike Napoli, on April 21st. That one wandered outside, and Danny tried to hold up, but went through, and now is down in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's the arm angle. The arm angle is really difficult. Right-handers got to really focus on keeping your left shoulder in and closed in order to have any success against a sidewinder like O'Day. Ball going in and ball going away.
Looks like he's going to take a mistake from O'Day for Valencia to be able to pull the ball. He's just going away on him. So gotta hope he makes a mistake inside.
He took the 1 sinker that was a good pitch to drive. He took it. It was a strike.
He chases a breaking ball away from him and strikes out. 2 down in the 6th inning.
There it is, sidearm. You see that grip? That's a slide ball that's going to start, middle, and finish off, way off.
It's a Laredo slider. Comes from down under.
That's exactly right. Tough to hit. Hard to lay off of.
So the veteran O'Day in his 6th big league season will now face Johnny Giavotella. Strike 1. He was an over-the-top guy when he started at Florida, got cut, changed his arm angle, came back, made the Florida Gator team, and became their closer. Right center field. Markakis with the catch, and the inning is over, and O'Day does a good job replacing Wei and Chen in the 6th.
Tickets for Less has crowns, Diamond Club, and the best dugout box seats to all Royals games. Guys, ticketsforless.com is your trusted source for all Royals tickets. This year, Tickets for Less is celebrating 10 years of local ownership. Check out ticketsforless.com, and you too can sit in the best seats at Kauffman Stadium. Long homestand left, and I know people want to get out and get a chance to see young Yordano Ventura. 6 strikeouts in a row. The team record is 8. Blake Stein. The league record for consecutive strikeouts is 9. Yordano Ventura, or not Yordano Ventura, Doug Fister a couple of years ago, and that was against the Royals, and it looks like the streak of 6 straight will come to a close, but he will gladly take that out. And can I just say, and let me stand up for my partner here, did you guys really take a shot and say he pitched in 1900?
I did not say that. It might have been HUD.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Who is known to throw out a barb. Did you say that about Monty threw in 1900?
No, but it's a good line. I'll do it now if you want me to.
I'm just checking. Somebody said it. I got to stand up for him because nobody ever gives Monty a hard time.
Never. Like on every pre- and post-game show with Joel Goldberg. You'll have to talk to Joel about that, Joel. Here's J.J. Hardy. Takes a strike at the outside corner. Ventura's career high is 10 strikeouts. Did that last week in San Diego in just 6 innings. Oh, look at that breaking ball. Wow. J.J. Hardy doesn't want to see it again.
Taking a swing like that, he might get another one.
Nope. Heater just low at 98. Here he is in the 7th inning, still throwing 98. Up the middle into center field. Good at bat for Hardy, who is now 4 for 7 in his 4 for 6, I beg your pardon, in his career against Ventura.
Breaking ball, he shortened up his swinging and kind of thought in the back of his mind it would be coming. So he just did what he wanted to do, guide it back up the middle. They're talking about that curveball right now to Hosmer. He's going, man, that's not very fun to hit that.
Now Ryan Flaherty, who twice has grounded out, and that's what the Royals want now. Ball 1. Flaherty robbed of a hit on a wonderful play by Escobar to end the 2nd. JJ doesn't run much. Changeup swung on and missed. Ball and a strike to Ryan Flaherty. Ryan out of Portland, Maine, and went on to Vanderbilt. Good infielder for the Commodores. Blooper towards left, and that ball's going to drop. So 2 balls not very well struck, but they find the grass, the outfield, and 2 on, 1 out. And here comes Ned Yost, because you have a couple of left-handers coming up in David Lowe and Nick Markakis. And Ventura, yeah, he's reached his pitch count, so Ned wants to go to the pen. Ventura wants to stay out there. He won't be able to get the win, but the Royals going with Tim Collins, our Chevy call to the bullpen. Ventura, and he talked about a couple of ones that snuck through and blooped into left field. But here's his pitch breakdown tonight, Rex.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to mix his pitches. Strikeouts on his changeups, curveballs, you know. But still, Nolan Ryan, several starts ago, talked about how he's the real deal. The fact that he can have a fastball already as good as it is, but the changeup is going to make his fastball even better, Nolan said. And so he was pretty impressed with him. See if Collins can hold the fort here with one out.
Tim Collins giving up just a .241 average.
Got that big curveball he'll use, fastball and a straight changeup.
First batter's David Lowe, and he chases the first fastball and slips it foul. Strike one. Lowe got one hit in the series at Camden Yards, and it was a swinging bunt in between the pitcher's mound and third base. Strike two. Lowe 0 for 6 this year facing left-handers. Breaking ball, down and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. We talked about Ned Yost staying with Danny Valencia when they brought in Darren O'Day, and Buck Showalter had the opportunity to go with Delman Young, a right-handed batter, to face Collins, and chose to stay with Lowe. But I think more for defense, because Lowe swings and misses and strikes out. Delman Young not nearly the defender that Lowe is.
So he's able to hang on to it.
Now a more experienced hitter in Nick Markakis in his 9th big league season. He is 2 for 3 in this game. That was against Ventura. Now facing the lefty for the first time. Runners in first and second, 2 out. Strike one.
Markakis hitting .220 against lefties this year so far with 1 ribby, so he's susceptible to that breaking ball away, although he does use that an opposite field stroke. Got some good throwing arms out there, especially to Gordon if he tries to dump one in there.
Hardy average speed at second base. Here's the pitch in there, and all of a sudden Collins has jumped in front 0-2. Well, the Royals bullpen has been magnificent the last 8 games, and the Royals have won 6 of those 8. They have not allowed an earned run. But the 2 on belong to Ventura. Good block by Perez. Just low. Whoa. Awfully close with the changeup.
That's a good pitch. You know, he'll use that to lefties or righties. Lots of times a lefty throwing a changeup to a left-handed batter, they'll be a little nervous about that because the balls sometimes on changeups come back in. That's an easier pitch to put the barrel on.
Then he came back with the heater, which was 9 miles an hour more than the previous pitch. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. We saw Markakis square up fastballs from Ventura in the mid to upper 90s, and he singled the left and singled up the middle. Ground ball short into left field. Gordon gets to it as quickly as possible. The throw home is in time. Got him. Gordon with number 58.
You can't score a run on Alex Gordon. He was waiting for it. All the way on the fly. Perfect throw. Out.
Showing off his skills, and now Panera takes us around the league. Minnesota wins it in extra innings. Aaron Hicks with the walk-off. Edwin Encarnacion had a big one. Milwaukee 4-3 over Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay and Los Angeles right now are scoreless and just underway. So let's talk more about Edwin Encarnacion in our Mazda game break. I would say it is safe to say he had a day. 3 for 4, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, a double, and 2 home runs. Not a bad game for Edwin Encarnacion. Fizz?
Like now, we'd love to see the Royals come back and win this one. They have won 3 in a row, starting 2-0 on this 9-game homestand as well. And here's Darren Day to stay in the game to face Lorenzo Cain. What a great throw by Alex Gordon. He has now 58 assists since becoming a full-time outfielder in 2011. That's 18 more than any other outfielder in all of baseball. Foul. Man, he's fun to watch. And it's interesting. Alex Rex says that's his favorite play in the game, to throw runners out.
No, he was waiting on it, and Hardy got a great jump from second base. And on contact, I wasn't thinking they were going to get him. But Alex closed quickly.
Davis will take care of Lorenzo Cain. Let's take a look at it again. We'll call it Miller time, as promised to you early.
Okay, Markakis could have pulled it or hit it to center, and he would have had a better chance of scoring him. But Gordon, fundamentally sound, picks up the ball perfectly and makes a. I mean, you can't throw it any better. That's right where the catcher wants it. On the third base side of the plate. Out.
Brian Honora saw that he placed that tag down on that shoulder as JJ tried to sweep around.
Okay, Machado is going to come in a little bit more at third base. This is a guy you can bunt off of. Sinker, sliders, balls that going down and in and away, or pitches that you can get down on the ground easier.
Would you go to first then? Machado, we've seen that fantastic arm at third.
Nope. Escobar's a good drag bunter. He doesn't have to be perfect with it, but just put it down and make Machado be perfect.
Well, he likely won't bunt here with 2 strikes.
No, but he got him a pitch there. He missed.
Two lefties coming up next, Aoki and Hosmer. And there is a lefty warming down in the Baltimore bullpen. Just off the glove, O'Day up and gets Escobar. So 4 up, 4 down for Darren O'Day. He was an undrafted free agent. Now a really quality middle and late reliever. Well, they're going to keep O'Day in to face Nori Aoki. Perhaps it's because Nori hits left-handers better than he hits right-handers.
And, you know, maybe Showalter's waiting for Hosmer to bring the lefty in. We'll see. Now, a pitcher like this is a guy that you'll see Nori try to pull sometimes, and that was a pull swing there. Anything that kind of floats in and hangs up over the middle, he'll try to pull it down the line. But however, where Machado is playing is ideal for him, the way he likes to hit that ball to left field, so he can slap that ball by him in a couple of different lanes.
Machado right now on the edge of the infield grass with just 1 strike on Aoki.
Got him an inside pitch he pulled off of.
Going away. 0-2. Tried to slap it down the third base line. And Rex, you would think that Nori would be more comfortable with a guy like O'Day because he sees similar pitchers, or he did see them in Japan.
Yeah, he can wait a little bit longer. He's accustomed to seeing guys that throw off-speed pitches from his Japanese days.
Nori spent 8 years with the Yakult Swallows in Japan, hit .329. He has a bit of power. He had 8 home runs for the Brewers last year, 10 the season before. Well, he's peppering that third base line, trying to get it by Machado.
He's getting closer and closer, and if I'm David Lowe out there in left field, you just take a step to the line, and move over even more. And you see he's trying to do that, trying to take that double away from him.
Well, they want to come back inside now. And he slashes it. Machado has it, twirls and fires. A strike to first base, and Nori is out. So are the Royals in the 7th. To the 8th we go. Baltimore by 1. Baseball is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Jeff Montgomery, Joel Goldberg with you. Doug. And our great production crew tonight, led by Joe Lavero and Steve Kurtenbach, Sam Abramson, Al Broughton, Dave Holzman. Another terrific job by the crew here at the K. And Lewis Coleman comes out of the bullpen. His ERA at 5.56, but only 11 games. And you might remember early when he was injured, the Royals had to put him back on the disabled list. Now healthy and beginning to get that ball where he wants to, which means down around the knees with his sinker slider. Lewis replaced Jason Vargas in the 7th inning yesterday after Drew Stubbs' homer made it a 1-run game. Got his man out. There's the slider. Machado, a terrific young hitter, just 21 years old, out of Hialeah, Florida. Hit 283 last year. Barely misses outside. Tried the slider again. Count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, as Coleman will face Machado, Jones, and Davis in this inning. A pair of right-handers and a lefty. Would not chase the slider. Now the count's full 3-2. I was talking to the Royals front office today and asked them about Kyle Zimmer, former first-round draft pick, and they said, as a matter of fact, he pitched 2 innings in his simulated game today, pitched quite well. He'll go in a game on Saturday.
Last 8 games, the bullpen has been nails. And we'll show you 20 innings, 0 ERA. And that is exactly what they're hoping for will stay intact tonight.
3 for 3 in save opportunities, including one last night where Holland closed out a 3-2 victory. One yesterday afternoon, I should say. Game that just took 2 hours and 33 minutes. Now Jones. Ground ball, foul. Jones is grounded into a double play, lined out, and struck out.
That's just the second time he's grounded into a double play. He did that back in the 1st inning.
Well, Coleman is a guy to induce double plays, keeping that ball down around the knees.
Yep, sinker slider.
Got that one up, though. Didn't get him to bite the slider. You might remember he had a 1-2 count on Machado. Then the count went full 3-2 before Manny got a pitch that he wanted and singled up the middle. Doesn't want to let Jones back in the count. Two balls, 2 strikes, and this is not a patient hitting team. Baltimore dead last in the American League in walks with only 86. The Royals are 12th. They came in with 104. Doesn't want to go to a full count, and Machado might be running to stay out of a double play. And he does not go, and the ball fouled off. And Coleman can get strikeouts. You might remember last year he produced a dominant stretch after a second half recall from Omaha, averaging 15.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. He held opponents to an 0.71 batting average.
He was on some kind of hot streak.
Set a Royal record for most consecutive shutout innings by a reliever, breaking Joakim Soria's old mark. That's lined up the middle for a base hit. So for the second straight batter, he's gotten 2 quick strikes, and each guy has, the result has been a base hit.
And they're just trying to do what they're doing, little things, shorten it up, try to put it in play, and both guys were successful, going right back up the middle.
Oh man, that just went by his glove. If he caught that, they would have doubled off Machado. Ned Yost coming out as Aaron Crow has been warming down in the Kansas City pen. I believe that's Crow. It might be Kelvin. Yeah, it's Kelvin Herrera, excuse me. He let Kelvin get as many throws in as he could, and here comes number 40. Baltimore with a 2-1 lead. Herrera needs to get the Royals out of the mess. One lead over KC, and Chris Davis coming up. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Those kids are having fun.
That's from Bill. Sign up on top of the dugout.
Front row rocks.
In a way.
Yes, it does.
Herrera's going to have to be a little careful with the low ball. However, Ned's looking for the strikeout. 17 strikeouts and 18 in a third innings has been really good. That's what he would love here. Davis likes that ball down. Herrera's going to have to try to keep it away from him.
He does, but it misses, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Kelvin has not been charged with a run over his last 10 outings, lowering his ERA to 1.47, though 4 of his 8 inherited runners have scored. That time he went up, Davis chased it.
That's where you want to stay with it.
There's the last 10 outings. Only 4 hits, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts.
He's getting the job done. Change up and slider as his secondary pitches, and they're good. Get a swing and miss on that, you might just stay with it. Same spot.
Came in at 98, and again Davis a little late. Davis still trying to get his timing back after he came off the disabled list on May 11th. That oblique strain. And I'm guessing he's going to stay hard with Davis.
Looking for anything he can get the strikeout on. Or if it's an off-speed pitch, maybe he hits a little ground ball to Gio.
stays hard and blows him away at 99 miles an hour.
That's exactly what you want out of a guy like Herrera. That's why Ned went to him. Guy with a power arm that can get you instant strikeouts is valuable, especially late in games. And that's it's not in the middle of the plate either. That's a really good spot. Herrera with good focus there. Have to keep the same against Cruz. We saw what Cruz did to Ventura's fastball early in the game.
So he starts him off with a breaking ball, and that's the pitch he's been working on most to develop. He's always had the fastball changeup, but that was a pretty good hook. Goes with another breaking ball, and it is a 1-1 count. Nelson Cruz leads the team in home runs with 12. Number 12 came in the fourth. It's the difference in the game. A 2-run shot. Royals scored a run and a sac fly in the fourth. And now Salvi wants to make sure he is on the same page. And I think a lot of it has to do with Kelvin. Is what pitch do you believe in? What pitch do you have conviction in?
Well, obviously the conviction was shown to Davis. Blew him away. Now you take a chance with a guy like Cruz, but if you hit your spots and hope that he's looking out over and down, you can get him upstairs.
Wants to stay off speed. Got him to chase and off speed. Yesterday, Justin Verlander threw behind Cruz, and it was almost a payback for getting hit by his teammate Torrey Hunter getting hit a day before. Then Verlander threw a good breaking ball down, and Cruz hit it out. Wow, that is some kind of pitching. And Herrera went off speed with Cruz and struck him out on a good fade.
Beauty. There's that changeup. Cruz looking for the fastball. Knowing he possesses an upper 90s fastball, you have to look for that pitch. So that fooled him. Another good spot here.
Now Steve Clevenger, catcher who came in hot. He was 8 for his previous 16, but 0 for 3 tonight. Although he was robbed of a hit and a fine running catch by Lorenzo Cain, the Royals center fielder, in the second. The Royals have left 6. The Orioles have left 5 on base and currently have 2 more. And they were there with nobody out, but Herrera out of the bullpen has been fantastic, but needs to finish off Clevenger. Changeup and a beauty at 91.
Dave Island has been working a lot with Herrera, and mainly on trusting your stuff and believing in it, that you have 3 above average pitches.
A grounder to Eric Hosmer, gets it to Herrera just in time. What a job by Kelvin Herrera. 2 on, nobody out, and he gets 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And we'll see Hosmer to lead things off in the bottom of the 8th when we come back. situation against Baltimore in the past on a day that Wei and Chen pitched, and he homered off of him in the 8th inning to tie the game, and the Royals would go on to win July 24th 4-3 over Baltimore. What do you say, as Yogi would say, we have deja vu all over again?
That would work.
Troy Patton is the new pitcher. He's a lefty.
6'1", 185. He's got a fastball, low to mid-90s when he places it the way he wants it. He also has a sinker. He's going to sink it and slide it. He's got a pretty good changeup to righties.
Hosmer shows bunt. They have a shift on towards the right side, but that was Hos basically just showing him because I think he's swinging.
You would hope to see him swing.
In there with the breaking ball, 1-1.
That was a perfect pitch. Hosmer didn't want that one.
Hosmer 1 for 3, a single, and he scored the Royals' only run on Danny Valencia's sacrifice fly. Now down in the count, 1-2 to Troy Patton. Royals will go with Hosmer, Butler, and Salvador Perez in this 8th inning. If anybody gets on, Alex Gordon. In there, strike 3 called.
Situation there, he was thinking he was going to try to throw a slider again, and sometimes it'll lock you up.
And so Buck will bring on the right-hander to face the right-handers Butler and Perez. So right now the Orioles bullpen doing their job against Kansas City. They hold a 1-run lead, and we will see Ryan Webb when we come back. Bottom of the 8th inning, 1 out. Billy Butler will be up facing Ryan Webb, a hard-throwing right-hander from Clearwater, Florida, who has a good over-the-top down angle at 6'6", Rex, and 230 pounds.
He's a large lad, sinker. He cuts his fastball. He's got a little curve and a slider.
Billy Butler has faced him before and has had success against Ryan Webb. 1 for 2, the 1 hit, a home run, and the Royals need a solo shot to tie this game.
Okay, Showalter, he knows the numbers. He's taking a chance, and that's what you do.
Strike 1. Butler tonight is grounded out, struck out, popped up. His average has fallen to 2.34. Only one home run, 14 RBIs. That's all the way back to the screen. Royals trying for their 4th straight win. Trying to move 2 games over 500. They won the first 2 games of this homestand against Colorado by scores of 5-1 and 3-2. And once again, they've received very good pitching. One ball, 2 strikes.
He got a pitch elevated that he was looking for and just tried to do a little bit too much. Shaking his head saying, you know, I missed that. That's what he wanted. His weight's coming a little bit too far forward. He's lunging at the ball. He's a little bit anxious. Typically when he does his kick, he's able to keep his head still, but he's coming forward.
Rex, is what you're saying that he's all upper body rather than using his entire body?
Yeah, he's drifting out over the plate. He's coming forward with his whole body. Sometimes it's just the littlest thing. And once you start getting a few hits, it starts clicking.
Baltimore scored first on a 2-run home run by Nelson Cruz in the top of the 4th. Royals came back with a sac fly in the bottom of the 4th. J.J. Hardy, 2 outs. So here comes Salvador Perez. Salvy's been on 2 times tonight.
Baltimore going to pull a little shift on Salvy, playing him to pull.
Well, let him hit it over it. First guy to do that was Lou Boudreau, put on the Ted Williams shift back in the 1940s for Ted Williams because he pulled so many balls, and Ted Williams said, heck with the shift, I'll just hit over it, which he did. Crow warming up in the Royals pen. Greg Holland just in case the Royals take the lead. And Chris Davis chasing that one, but we'll go to 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Royals catcher. Williams simply said you cannot let fielders influence your hitting approach.
But it does.
Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tomorrow night at the K, great fireworks show after the game, and then Guthrie and Tillman will start it at 7:10. Chased a breaking ball and strikes out. To the 9th we go. Baltimore 2, the Royals 1.
Crow is on the hill when this one is over. We'll break it all down on Boulevard Royals Live from Rivals. Giordano Ventura, another nice night on the mound, pitching in front of his mom. We'll talk about his performance, hear from Ned Yost, Jeff Montgomery analysis, and much more. And that is Zach Britton, the left-hander, warming up in the Baltimore bullpen. If at all, the Royals were hoping that maybe they would see Tommy Hunter, who has a 6.60 ERA. He has been their closer, 11 of 14 on save opportunities. It appears as though that will not happen. He has struggled. Zach Britton, the lefty, has not.
Yeah, the Royals will have Gordon, then 2 right-handers, so they may start with Britton. Well, we'll see. Here's Aaron Crow, has pitched very well lately, and he gets strike 1 across. And if you were wondering, it really goes back to last night when the Royals did not send Wade Davis out in the 8th inning, and there was a reason for that. Wade came to the ballpark with a stiff neck, so Ned Yost wanted to give him a day off, and he probably could pitch tonight, but I think Ned wants to stay away from Wade. Right now, it's a 2-1 ball game. Baltimore with the lead, and Crow quite capable, and there's a good slider.
I'll say, did you see his numbers coming in, Crow?
Yeah.
Doesn't have any.
Love it.
Yeah. He's got no numbers, and he wants to keep it that way. Slider that he just threw, 2 seam sinkers working for him.
In there. Strike 3 called.
Bullpen doing a fine job. There's only a couple of things missing. That's 2 runs.
Offense still slow and getting there, but perhaps the bottom of the 9th they'll bring it. Never too late. Here's Ryan Flaherty. But Collins, Coleman, Herrera doing a fine job in this one. Now Aaron Crow trying to keep him quiet. In the air, left center field. Gordon wants it. Gordon takes it, 2 out. Giordano Ventura did a very good job in this game as he went 6 1/3 innings and gave up just 2 runs. David Lowe, a rough night against his old ball club, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. The Royals would love to get the opener. I mean, they've won game 1 of a series 7 times, Rex. And each time they've won game 1 of a series, they've won the series.
It's getting late.
You were talking about how good Aaron has been. Well, he's the only pitcher in the major leagues to work at least 15 innings this year without an earned run allowed. Up with the fastball. 2-1 count.
Yeah, you know, he's really confident in not trying to overthrow now. He's maturing now. He's understanding outs are important. He's past the stage of trying to blow guys away. Got him in trouble at times last year.
Lorenzo Cain makes the catch. A 1-2-3 9th inning for Aaron Crow. And Johnny Giovatello, who was the hero on Sunday with a 3-run home run, he will hit 3rd in the 9th. Bond believes the Royals will come back and win this one. Orioles lead by 1, and the Royals will go with Alex Gordon first, then Danny Valencia, and then Johnny Giavotella. And Buck Showalter going with Zach Britton instead of his closer Tommy Hunter. Britton, excellent numbers, 3-0 mark and 0.84 ERA, but the last 3 outs of a ball game are much different than work in the 7th or 8th like Britton has done in the past.
That's right. His numbers is deserving of an opportunity to close. However, he's never had a save in his career. So why not make it a memorable one for him and get a couple of guys on and hit a gapper? Walk off.
Well, there is some history between Alex Gordon and Zach Britton, and it's all Gordo. 6 for 8, including a big fly. And Alex shows bunt, pulls it back in time, ball 1.
Not a bad idea. Zach Britton, 2-seam sinker. He's a 88 to 92 mile an hour sinker baller. Slider and a changeup.
In there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a little bit more velocity than we've seen in the past. For a sinker baller, if you overthrow, it stays a little bit straighter, doesn't have the sink. That's a well located pitch. So a guy that's never closed a game down before, the only way you can get him nervous is to get a runner on there somehow, some way. Get a base runner on. Royals haven't had a walk-off all year. They're due.
To second base, Flaherty has it. Throws out Alex, 1 down. And he is a guy who is really new to the system. He had 3 stints with the O's last year and had a high ERA at 4.95, but a converted starting pitcher now to the bullpen. And when they traded Johnson to Oakland, who was their closer who had over 100 saves the last 2 seasons, there was a big question mark on who would close. It became Hunter, but he has a bloated ERA over 6. And now Valencia, who has been trouble for many left-handers in the past. Fouled it off, ball, strike 1. Danny 2 for 5 against Britton, including a double. Danny 371 last year against Southpaws as a member of the Orioles. In there, 0-2.
Britton coming right at him. He wants this opportunity. He's going to stay with that fastball. Had him shake a few times to mess with Valencia's head. I don't know if his Britton's a little bit worked up or what, but typically he's better at 92 in the low 90s with trying to get guys out. But his adrenaline's pumped up right now. He's throwing some 95 up there.
Danny barely missed hitting one out. It would have been a grand slam. He had a sacrifice fly, driving in the Royals' only run in the 4th. Outside, barely missed, 2-2.
That's right where Clevenger wants it. He went out there and said, look, let's just stay hard away from him and see if we can get him to pop it up. She's telling him to shake, and he's staying with the heater. Maybe he makes a mistake.
3-2.
Okay, you got Gerard Dyson good and loose. I'm sure he's ready to go. Just got to get a base runner on there. And he's thrown all fastballs to Valencia. I don't know why he would change now. And he's staying with the same pitch. Okay, Valencia, he pretty much knows now that he's going to be challenging him here. He can gear up on a fastball, but it's got to be his pitch because they need a base runner. Big focus at bat here.
Big hop for J.J. Hardy. 2 outs. So Britton 1 out away from a save. Johnny Giavotella will try and delay that. It's Johnny right now, and then Lorenzo Cain. Britton has given up a home run, but it came almost a month ago on April 21st. David Ross took him deep. Ball 1 to Giavotella.
Okay, Britton, he's throwing all fastballs, and that's typically what a closer will do, especially if you got the first 2 out on guys hitting ground balls. He's going to stay with the same pitch. Clevenger's guiding him.
To J.J. Hardy, and Great Britain has gotten the job tonight. He gets his first save, and the Orioles beat the Royals in Game 1 of this 4-game series. 2-1 the final score. Nelson Cruz got the game-winning hit, a 2-run home run back in the 4th. That's all Baltimore, and their terrific pitching tonight needed to nail down their 21st win of the year and end a 4-game Oriole losing streak. For the Royals, it ends their winning streak at 3 games. And we'll come right back to talk about this one.